Good day, everyone. Today I'm going to show you a little video of how we deal with Shopify and how we manage returns between Shopify and Zoho. So in our case, if a return occurs, then we make out a credit note for that specific invoice and we make sure that whatever items was checked out is checked back into stock. So here's my Shopify dashboard. It's order number 6504. You'll see this item was returned and we now need to make a refund to the client for this specific order. So this order was cancelled completely and we need to make a full refund for this specific order. The client's not exchanging it for something else. So if I go into my little Zoho dashboard, you'll see here's the original invoice and sales order that was created. We obviously have the Shopify reference number for you um, in the sales order so that you can easily track the item. And here we have the invoice, the items that were invoiced. So if I scroll back up and I go into invoices, here's the invoice that was made out initially for the client. For his order that he placed. And you'll see we've obviously recorded the payments for that specific payment within correctly. So if you open up this payment, just to show you, we've automatically recorded that that amount was paid $159. There were $4.43 in bank charges, and that was all done automatically for you. You didn't have to do any of that. Our system automatically does that. So now if I just scroll down here, you'll see there's a order ID that I have here, and I now need to credit this sales order. So I'm going to go ahead and just load this specific order. Okay, so it's loaded the order for us, and here's the two items that's currently on the invoice, and you'll see their status is invoiced. I now need to go ahead and credit note or create a credit note for those two items. You'll see below here we have an option to add a new item. So let's say, for example, the client exchanged those products for a new item, then we could just add that new item into a new sales order for you. But in this case, like I mentioned earlier, the client completely canceled the sales order. So I'm just going to go ahead, select those two items to be credit noted, and I'm going to say create credit note. Now, the main reason why we do it like this is to make sure that all the references are captured correctly. So you'll see here those two items now show credited, and that means basically that a credit note was created for this entire order. So if I log into my credit notes, I'll just search that specific client name. That was this client. So I'm just going to take his name, search my credit notes. So you'll see here's that specific credit note with your Shopify reference number, which is obviously very important. So we capture that reference number for you so that all your credit notes are definitely or stay up to date. So I'm going to go here and say submit for approval. And I'm just going to approve the credit note, which basically means that the credit note is approved, and I'm just converting it to open. So obviously, with the different stages that we've set, you can do whatever you need to do. And now you'll see this credit note is currently in an open state, which means you can either apply it to a new sales order or you can refund the client from that credit. If we log back into our accounting dashboard, you'll see those two now still display credited. And now I'm just going to go ahead here and say sync payments. So what the system is doing now is it's running back into Shopify, checking the Shopify payment gateway and refunding those payments for you according to what was processed in Shopify. So in my credit notes now, if I go back into here, I can open up this credit note, and now there'll be a refund history, and you'll see on the 20th of September and on 20th September 2 payments were refunded, for this specific order now, and that now matches with what happened here in my Shopify. So you'll see here on the 20th, there's $291 and $1,049 that was refunded, and you'll see the $159 refund is still pending because we only made that refund today. So if I go back into the credit note, it matches exactly up with what's happening in Shopify. It shows that there's still $159 that need to be refunded, and the $1,340 was already refunded, along with the exact payments that were captured for both of those ones. Now, why this is specifically important is you'll see that those refunds occurred on the 20th of September. So in here, it occurred on the 20th of September. But if you log into Shopify, the payout for those, or the day that those two refunds were processed out, was only on the 22nd of September. So if I scroll down here, you will now see here on the 20th of September, that's there sits your two refunds. So those two refunds occurred on the 20th of September, but it affected the payout of the 22nd of September. Now, what makes that very difficult is obviously you need to reconcile your payout transaction with that specific, you need to reconcile this payout transaction in your Zoho Books accounting. So I'll now show you how our system then easily manages that for you as well. Okay, so now we obviously need to reconcile this payout that came into our bank account. And if I log into my CN or my banking module in Zoho Books, then you'll see that that deposit sits here now on the 22nd of September. So as you remember, all these transactions obviously have to be recorded correctly with all the refunds, payment fees, in order for you to be able to reconcile that one specific payout. So if I go back into our little accounting dashboard, we can go to the accounting side and select the 22nd of September. And now we can just hit reconcile transaction. So what the dashboard is going to do now is, so what the program will do now is it's going to run through every one of those transaction IDs and make sure that all those payments were recorded correctly in your Zoho Books, and all those refunds and fees and everything is correct within your accounting package. So we'll just give it some time to run now. Okay, so here's that Shopify payout that we just saw, and it's now showing that it's successfully reconciled. The one here at the bottom is our PayPal reconciliation, and this is just an expense in PayPal, so that's why it shows not found PayPal transaction in Shopify by code, because it's not Shopify, it's not a transaction, it's an expense. And now the nice thing is if I log back into my banking module, there's a specific transaction. I just go ahead and refresh just to reload the page for you. And now you'll see we're down to 42 transactions. Previously it was 43. So that transaction has been reconciled and all those payments are correctly in your accounting software and categorized. One other thing that I'll also show you, so just to give you an example, the next payout we have is on the 25th. So if I go ahead and select reconcile that transaction, it will most likely error out because there'll still be maybe invoices that wasn't done yet for that specific day. And then the system will just warn you that those invoices aren't yet in your accounting. So you'll see now, just to give you an example, that transaction on the 25th wasn't done, or it hasn't been invoiced yet. So now it's giving you all the errors that's currently not in Zoho Books for that specific day. So you can easily go ahead and fix those transactions to make sure that all your transactions always align. So that's just an example of the security that you have built into the system that allows you to always reconcile your bank account with your invoices, or your bank account, your inventory, and Shopify correctly.